John is going to give us a presentation, and we're going to hear from a great panel. And I just want to thank John for this leadership in this space, because we need people who are loud and proud about this, and we really appreciate you. So thank you. Let's welcome John Stinner, Manager of Foremost.
Good morning. In my career, I've been a wrestler, a bouncer, a repo man, a banker, and a public servant. Being a public servant is by far the most difficult. As a public servant, I've witnessed misogyny, adultery, murder, theft, assault, harassment, racism, bearing false witness against thy neighbor, and other assorted Old Testament level sins. I've also seen more modern day evils emerge, like active shooter scenarios, substance use disorder, suicide, disinformation, cyberbullying, and now the potential dismantling of the civil service as we know it. Unfortunately, our industry is suffering as a result. Between discourse in the town square, inconsistent job security, and a full-on assault of public service from the executive branch, qualified, hardworking professionals are leaving public service in droves. And unfortunately, nobody's taking the jobs. We're managing more people for less money and with far fewer resources than our counterparts in the private sector. Many of us are beholden to the fleeting fancies of the elected officials who hired us, and we face public scrutiny when we do answer their whims. We are verbally assaulted, threatened, and have our competency questioned daily. Burnout is rampant, and as are resignations, poor mental and physical health, and toxic work environments. All of this is to say, kids are not all right. So why do this work? Are we masochists? I don't know about you, but I'm not. What I do know is that we care. We care about people, we care about communities, and we care about improving communities to make people's lives better. But if we don't take care of ourselves and each other, those of us left won't be around very long. Now, I am not a poster child for wellness. In fact, when the topic would come up, I usually would reply, "What the hell is wellness?" I'd laugh at people forest bathing and going on meditation retreats, like my wife. Sorry, honey. Because I thought they were complete wastes of time. I voluntarily worked 50 to 60-hour weeks, left no time for myself, and shelved my mental and physical health for the good of the order. My life consisted of work and taking my children to their activities when I wasn't in public meetings from 7 to 10 o'clock at night. I also mentioned I used to be a tough guy. Since my 18th birthday, I've had 39 different surgical operations and over 20 broken bones, which left me in chronic pain with arthritis and have taken more trips to the emergency room than I care to count. Pile this on top of a brutal work schedule and the outlook wasn't good. It certainly wasn't sustainable. I know I'm not alone. When I worked in the United States Senate, the advice was, work in the Senate for 20 years and you can retire. And then you'd hear a snarky whisper under their breath, if you can make it. They weren't wrong. Strokes, heart attacks, substance use disorder, mental health issues, and cancer were commonplace among many senior Senate staffers. Very few ever did make it to 20 years in early retirement. Granted, Congress is a boiler room, but I've worked at every level of the government. I've worked in foreign policy and international development, run successful state legislative campaigns, and now manage a locality. At every level of government and service, I've seen the same strain, the same stress, and sadly, many of the same outcomes that I did in the Senate. In my own life, losing a leg nearly 3 years ago was my aha moment. Because of my injuries, I managed a municipality off my back from a twin bed in my basement where I was non-weight bearing for 9 months. If you can't tell, I'm not a twin-sized guy. As bleak as those days were, during those 9 months, what the hell is wellness turned into what the hell, I need wellness. And folks, I have tried it all. Acupuncture, physical therapy, talk therapy, massage, sound baths, breathing exercises, meditation, journaling, nutrition, diet, and the list goes on and on. And you know what? It's working. Last week, my physical therapist told me I'm officially healed. Thank you. So how do we all get wellness and healthy? I have 3 ideas to consider. Marcus Aurelius, Yes, I am a white man who thinks about the Roman Empire at least once a day. Asserted in Meditations that it is human nature to work together, to connect. We in this room in all public service are a community, and it's vital that we support each other because who else is going to do it? During the pandemic, medical and service workers were rightfully celebrated for their commitment to their communities around the globe. But I don't recall bells across America for local governments who kept society moving throughout the crisis. Our first responders risked their lives daily to deliver services. Our public works employees disposed of waste and kept our toilets flushing every day. Were there any parades? We need to celebrate and support one another. We must continue to grow support networks, to link ourselves together, to provide safe spaces for support, fellowship, and empathetic outlets for frustration and disappointments. 2, let's try to practice radical acceptance. Can we commit to accepting things as they are, people as they are, the past as it was? This is taking a page from our friends in the recovery community. If we quit fighting the realities and accept circumstances in the present as they are, we can move forward being mindful and aware of the challenges. The reality I had to accept in the last year is that I'm disabled. In fact, I've been disabled with a host of maladies for several years. I silently and inwardly fought that diagnosis, but when I stopped and actually accepted it, my happiness and wellness dramatically improved. I was able to face my challenges and find determination to live with them instead of against them. Let's stop wasting energy, much of which we don't have in reserve, and accept life and people for what and who they are. Let's radically accept it all. The third idea to consider is simply prioritizing ourselves. We are in a constant cycle of giving. We give our time and energy to focus on the work at hand. It's not an easy position to be the person who always has to have the answers. But here's the truth. We cannot give anyone anything if we've used up everything we have to give. If we do not prioritize our own well-being, if we do not take the time to recharge, to care for our mental and physical health, and to reflect, we are doing a disservice to our communities, to our teams, and most importantly, to ourselves. There are no accolades for sacrificing your health for the sake of work. If we don't prioritize wellness, we risk losing the very passion that drives us to serve. I want to thank Connect for recognizing all of this and all of us. We need this organization to bring us together to address common challenges in solidarity. Thank you.